What's up, everybody? It's Aaron. People call me Weaver on the streets, people in the industry. I'm flying solo this week after a couple week hiatus. Our boy Colin is off living his best life in Hawaii, hanging out with sea turtles. And Stuart is actually currently suffering from the plague. Apparently, some sick kids showed up to guitar lessons and started coughing all over him. And so he can't even speak right now. He's hard to even text with at the moment. So rest up, Stu, recover. You're going to need it this week. Big matchups. They're all big matchups, especially at this point of the season. We're starting to feel the playoff urgency to get these W's. First things first, weekend check in. Last weekend was pretty cool. Saturday was a productive day. Ashley was with me in town, so we had like a house health day. So we cleaned, we did like chores, we did like a bunch of just random errands, like dusting off resumes. I did a bunch of work for Santa Barbara Youth Ultimate. Um, so it was like a very productive day, which is pretty fun. It's very rewarding when you have those productivity filled days on your days off from work, getting to all the things that you want to throughout the week, but you're so brain dead from actual work that you just never get to it. So that was cool. And then Sunday, she had booked herself up with a bunch of friends. And so I just got to hang out and watch TV all day long, which was lovely. Some of you commented. There was a brief period where I think I was the only one watching. And so I was just kind of like narrating things that were happening, storylines throughout the league. There was a like 5 minute period of time where a bunch of starting quarterbacks got injured. Like Matt Stafford messed up his thumb, Kirk Cousins, Achilles popped, Kenny Pickett like left the game. Tyrod Taylor was out. Like, yeah, like just crazy. Like 4 games were affected by starting quarterback injuries. So that's always tough, tough to see. And then yeah, it was just fun. No bet this past week between me and Gall because I was too scared of his golf ins. And thankfully, I was correct in not betting because the golf ins went off. And that was really a big bummer for me. I'm excited for this weekend. Let's see, what plans do we have? I signed up for Rover recently, try to earn some side cash, especially with Ashley, living part time away from here. I might as well stay at a stranger's house and get paid for it. So that's exciting. I had originally booked this whole week to be on Rover, but they canceled on me last minute, so that was kind of a bummer. It's going to be a pretty solid paycheck, four digits actually, if you believe that, because there's a bunch of cats, and so there's like a fee for every pet add-on in addition to like house sitting, and so it was going to be like super simple, like take this dog for a walk 3 times a day, feed them, make sure the water is, filled up. And then the fact that there was like 3 cats, it was like multiple $100s a day. Cool. Um, Anyways, so all that to say, I am currently flirting with somebody to let me watch their dog tomorrow when they go out to dinner. So hopefully they like what I have to say, the energy that I'm bringing. It's kind of weird. People are like, people are weird with their pets, man. Like all that they got going on in some situations, and they care so strongly for them. They want to make sure that you're not a psychopath, which makes sense. And I'm like going to their house, so like I would also want to know that this complete stranger isn't a psychopath. But yeah, just like there'll be all this crazy interest, and then just like radio silence for a while, and it's just like, huh, like you were just like asking me my life story, and now you're just like gone. Like, are you thinking about it? Are you like doing the same thing with other people? Are you trying to see like if any of your friends could? I don't know. It feels real weird. And then yeah, Ashley has to go away again on Sunday, so it'll be a big football day for me again. So that's exciting. Hopefully, some of the boys will be on the group me, and I won't feel alone. So if you're watching, feel free to text me. Okay, first segment, we got listener questions. This one comes in from Southern California, actually. Our buddy Scott really liked the Marvel segment and asked the same question, but in the Star Wars universe. And so, being that I'm alone and I can't just like shoot from the hip and bounce ideas off of somebody and giggle the whole time, I thought I might put a moderate amount of thought into this. It's not a lot of thought, and generally, when you get a little idea, you're like, all right, that's it, and try to move on because I actually spent an unreasonable amount of time trying to figure this out. So I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way to the top. So leading off, I got a heavy hitter. We got Evan, and the things that I compared to the Star Wars character, Evan comes out of the woodwork with a lot of like heavy hitting facts, right? Like he knows a lot of information, right? And then Evan is also like a great friend and he'll like go along on whatever adventures you're doing, but he might like complain along the way, right? Like he might quip, like, it's so wet, or like, it's too windy for disc golf or something like that, right? And so with these two things in mind, I am comparing Evan to C3PO. He's the, just ride or die homie that, yeah, spews facts and hates dirt, um, along with young Anakin. So that's right off the bat, Evan C3PO. Next up, Max. This one made me crack up a little bit. So I hope all of you have seen The Mandalorian. If you have not, then you won't understand this reference. But in The Mandalorian, there's this side character that the Mandalorian meets, and he's just like this curmudgeon, like super again knowledgeable character who's like really great at, I don't know, fixing things on his farm. But his like the core of his character is that he'll like say some shit and then end it with "I have spoken," and it's like, all right, conversation's over. That's it. Like that's my opinion. And so that reminds me a lot of Max in the way he interacts with us on GroupMe. He just comes in, says his thing. I've spoken. So Max is Quill, uh, for all the Mandalorian fans. Then we got Pebbles. The things that I love about Pebbles, I mean, well, not that I love, but just like that immediately come to mind is his strength, right? He's been so regimented about working out. Um, One of the few members in the league with a home gym. And then obviously can't think about Pebbles without also associating with the temper. I think like Pebbles, me, and Adam are that way. We're just like we have that temper thing to our past that who knows if we'll ever be able to like grow away from that uh, characteristic. But anyways, this one was probably the easiest for me. I immediately associated Pebbles with Chewbacca. So I hope you like that comparison, Bebs. Drinking a Guinness right now. Also, I just want to say like this is all supposed to be fun. I hope I don't insult anybody. I try to keep it positive. If you disagree, just like don't be a dick about it because I'm sensitive. Okay. Anyways, next up we have Adam. I talked about the temper gang, super powerful. And so this one I associated Adam with Anakin Skywalker before he turns into old Vader. Um, Clone Wars Anakin. Yeah, that's Adam. Then we have O'Malley, and one of the things that I like about this comparison is both characters' stubbornness. O'Malley is a stickler for the rules. He is an avid member of the COP, which can be infuriating at times, but also he he bought into the COP, and he's a strong member of the COP, and he would never remove his COP hat. And so that's why I think that O'Malley is the Mandalorian. Next up, we have Bill, and one theme that I've noticed out of Bill this year is that he has been dominant. It's a drinking weekend as always. He's always a force, and then he's a little bit of a heel. He's a little bit in his villain era right now. He comes in hot and heavy with some shit talk, pretty consistently, and so I think that Darth Maul is a very fitting Bill comparison. Yeah, because I explained why. That's fun. Me, I'm up next. I don't really have like a good comparison for myself, so I'm curious what y'all's thoughts are. If I had to, if I had to do anything, I would say like Boba Fett. And part of the reason that I thought this is like everybody loves Boba Fett from like the original trilogy, and like his role is very like minimal in it. Right, like he gets blasted and eaten by the sandworm, which actually we learn doesn't actually happen. But I don't know. It's just like really funny. Like he's beloved, but like what were his accolades? Like not really. He didn't really. I don't know. And I'm probably misremembering, but yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny. And me and my injury history, like I always like would hurt myself without actually making the play. And so that's I don't know why I associated with Boba Fett. Stu, this is another strong one that I feel pretty good about. Stu, when we play like board games with Stu, he's always like suave, he's sweet talker. And then at the last minute, I'll pull a reverse Uno on you so he can win his objective, despite, the room, so to speak, and everybody else's situations, right? This is a throwback to Dead of Winter, and it'll be, I don't, it's so funny. It's probably happened a decade ago, but I'm still like, I get blood red mad when I think about that betrayal in the Dead of Winter. But yeah, so with this like own objective pursuit that Stu has, I think he is Lando Calrissian, and yeah, that's fun. Brad is super easy. He's Han Solo. He's shooting from the hip. He's a suave motherfucker. I didn't even really put that much thought into it. I just was like, who should be Han Solo? Oh, that's Brad. Colin, this one's controversial, I think, and I think I think we can all agree that Colin is like the government of our. He's like the organizing body of our league. He's always whipping out the cardboard box to organize our tournaments and everything. And so I immediately started thinking about um, the governing characters in the Star Wars universe, and Emperor Palpatine. Like Colin's not evil, and so that one didn't really sit too well with me. And Leia's dad, like he's cool, but he's like also a side character, and Colin's not really. He's always in the middle of things, and so to me, I chose Padme for Colin. Hot young, the hot young governing body of our league. And there's a period of time when I mean, who didn't do this? But Colin, dipped his pen in Company Inc. And that forbidden love storyline. So that one made me chuckle too. Am I? I guess I'm just stuck in the past, man. Jeez, that's crazy. Scott is up next. He's currently in second place in the league, and This one is this one's fun to me because I love this character and I love the movie. The movie is Rogue One. The character is Jyn Urso. And the reason that I like this comparison is because Scott is currently on this mission. For better or worse, he's been going and getting his degree to become a veterinarian. And I feel just like that mission that she was on to get the Death Star plans is very equivalent to getting this veterinarian degree. So that's why I made that comparison. And then last but not least is our first place league leader, Baco. I associated Bacon. The first thing that came to mind was like Bacon, doesn't talk that he's not the loudest voice in the room, but when he does talk, it's usually pretty good. So you gotta listen up, right? He's like got that wisdom to him. Also a badass. And so I associate Bacon with Obi-Wan. And I didn't make the distinction between like normal Obi-Wan, but like right now he's feeling like old Obi-Wan, like his back issue. But yeah, I thought that was a good one. So just a quick recap. We got Evan is C3PO, Max is Quill, Pebbles is Chewbacca, Adam is Anakin Skywalker, O'Malley is Mandalorian, Bill is Darth Maul, Weaver, Boba Fett, and also I'm curious what other people's thoughts are of me. Stu is Lando Calrissian, Brad, Han Solo, Colin is Padme, Scott, Jyn Erso, and Bacon is Obi-Wan. That's fun. Okay, the next mailbag question is from actually Hawaii. Colin called into the pod and his question is, what are your thoughts about removing the kicker position, replacing it with a flex spot, and removing a roster spot? So I guess saying that again, we're removing the kicker spot and its corresponding roster spot, but then we're adding a flex from our bench, basically. So we'd still have 10 starting players in our lineups, but we're getting rid of the randomness of the kicker. And my first opinion is must be what it's like to be a congressman or a senator, right? Like I've been campaigning to get rid of kickers or not to get rid of kickers, but actually I did do that. Huh? Fuck. I've been campaigning to get rid of roster spots forever, a roster spot. And so here's this like package deal of like, yeah, you can remove a roster spot, but then also you have to do this other change that I want. And now we have this bill that is kind of like connected. People don't really like either thing, but like it's probably a good thing. Yeah, I personally dislike kickers. I think they're stupid. That being said, I think that adding a flex spot and we already often have problems on like bipocalypse weeks mixed with injuries. I think if we ever remove a roster spot, we still have to add, or we have to like allow for 2 injured slots to be used. I think that I think it would be challenging. I think it would cause a lot more tough decisions of cutting players. We're not going to be allowed to hoard players as much. I'm into it because kicker randomness is so stupid, but all of fantasy is random. So I've also kind of like given up on that kicker removal thing. Yeah, but there's nothing worse than getting 0 points from your kicker and sweeping the walk. So I am personally out on this proposed change, even though it incorporates something that I do want, which is removing a roster slot. But it's a very fun thing to think about. And it reminds me that like just because I don't know, our league is very competitive the way it is, and I think our league is very fun the way it is. And we often try to introduce new rules to like change things up um, for the sake of like making our league better. But I don't necessarily know that our league could be better because I think right now our league is great. And changing just for the sake of changing, like I can understand that. Like, okay, we've been doing it one way for a long time. Let's try something else. But yeah, I don't feel the need to change anything right now. Um, so that's fun. All right. Let's get into the matchups from last week. And I'm gonna share my screen so you can, for anybody that actually watches, um, you'll be able to see it. Okay, so last week's matchups. I'm on the short Gus, took the L against Dr. Tulip, Mr. Hill. Storyline from this matchup, the Dolphins went up, 3 players scored 60 points. You hate to see that. Otherwise, pretty pedestrian performance from his team. There was the unfortunate incident of Jerome Ford and his ankle injury, giving Kareem Hunt more touches. That backfired for me personally. And then on my side of things, there was the tight end controversy. If I had started either other tight end, which rankings and common sense would have had me do, I would have won. So that sucks. I mean, you can always play the like, well, if I did this, I would have won. But like, as an example, like starting Gus Edwards over Tony Pollard just isn't going to happen in anybody's reality. Like that's just silly, right? So I'm not going to make that argument. But starting Michael Mayer over Logan Thomas or Njoku, like that's a little bit more of a stretch. Okay. Up next, we got poor Pebs. He's on a little bit of a losing streak right now. Took the L against Sleepy Joe. Big storyline from this matchup was DeAndre Hopkins, 3 reception touchdowns on 4 receptions. That's so crazy. Over 100 yards. Like these plays were just like full blown massive breakdowns of Atlanta's defense. Like what happened there? Stones has to be stoked that Eckler is back and looking like his old true self. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Ghibli is still reeling. Like Olave just hasn't been able to connect the way that he was projected to. He's in a little bit of trouble. Both of these teams actually took some hits from injuries. Drake London is now out. Kendrick Bourne tore his ACL. DeMarcadero Hall, he's got some sort of toe injury, so he's out. And then Darren Waller, I mean, that's kind of like a blessing, I guess. Like you can just get off the Waller train, but tough weekend, tough weekend there for those teams and their injuries. We got Bacon versus Max. You can see I chose Bacon to win this. So this was a pretty epic upset. And a large part of that was due to Lamar Jackson putting up, what was his lowest? No. Wow, he's had some stinkers. 3rd lowest point total this year. He's had 2 sub 10-point games this year. Wow. That's crazy. Big storylines here. Gosh, Barkley Saquon put up 14 points despite the like train wreck of a team that the Giants are. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of his season goes. I'm really happy for Max that Addison is now like blowing up. The last 4 weeks, he scored 15 points, 10 points, 28, and 18. That's pretty high to get out of a rookie. And he made the trade with me earlier in the season, Burrow for Addison. We're both now seeing the dividends from that trade. One note about Bacon's success, he's really been enjoying the Raheem Mostert train. I personally have always loved Mostert, but I've never wanted a single stock, a single share of Mostert because I thought he was made out of paper. He's a paper tiger historically, and this year that has not been the case. Every other running back in Miami has gotten hurt except for Mostert, which is crazy. But yeah, Max snuck this one out. If Kelsey or Lamar have normal games, then Bacon gets the W, and that's how fantasy goes. Then we got O'Malley. Oh, he was so close to the money versus Adam. I chose Adam to win this week, and I feel like I gave him the announcer's curse. Sometimes that's how it goes. CeeDee Lamb looked unstoppable against the Rams. And while that's like awesome, me and my Tony Pollard shares really would like him to chill and share the load, so to speak. What else is going on here? Bro, poor Adam and Ramondre Stevenson. Another sub 10-point performance there. That's one of the big shockers of the season. And on the plus side, Thielen just continues to produce. He's the top dog in Carolina, so that's nice. And then Swift and Rachaad White are back. They're doing well. I think Adam's team is a lot better than his record indicates. So I can see a strong second half push. And unfortunately for O'Malley, like he's just missing Nick Chubb, and his team would be great. Maybe not great with Trevor Lawrence at the helm, but very good, I would say. So yeah, I look forward to seeing what these two do to ruin some playoff chances moving forward. Stu's team blew up. It was really funny. This matchup was crazy. I don't know if y'all are following in real time the way I was, but Stu was projected. He had massive Bush. He was going to win the money. And then in the afternoon slate, that actually switched. And then Scott was projected for the money, and Stu had like lost a bunch of points. And then randomly, like the night game, I think it switched again. And I don't recall seeing such big swings of like popping off to like 140, 150, and then back down to 120, and then back up to 150. So that's remarkable. And I think Stu's getting really lucky here. Like Etienne is who Stu thought he was. We all ridiculed him like ruthlessly early in the season, but if we could go back in time, like I think we would all take Etienne. I mean, with these numbers, he has week 2, he has scored 5 points. Week 4, he scored 8. And since then, his lowest point total has been 15. So that's 6 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 weeks of 15 or more points. And his high point is 34. That's like round 1 numbers that you're looking for right there. And then you combine that with Alvin Kamara catching just like every single pass, double digit. Oh my God, targets. This is just Stu's looking like a real threat. We'll see what happens though in Ramstown with the Stafford injury. I think Puka takes a massive hit unless Brett Rippon is decent. Who knows? But yeah, this was a fun matchup. Tough to put up 129 points and take the L, but he still put up 129, so that's good. I don't think Scott's too worried about his season right now. Last but not least, we have the Rice Rockets versus the Hall of Shame. Evan he expressed the sentiment in GroupMe. His season has just gone awry. everything bad that can happen has happened. On paper, this team should be like Superman, but for some reason, he's just like going up against kryptonite each week. Yeah, Cooper Kupp scoring 4 points. This is crazy. All right. If I told you to guess how many points did Davante Adams and Cooper Kupp score playing against the Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys, respectively, what would you say? Like in my mind, I'm thinking Cowboys and Lions. Okay, this is gonna be like a shootout, probably gonna have to score a bunch of points. I bet combined they're probably at least in the 30 combined 30-point range. You would be sorely mistaken because they combined for just over 5 points. And that is soul sucking. That's just like fantasy football in a nutshell. And Evan, I'm giving you a big hug, bro, because that just shouldn't happen. That's tough. But Bill, on the other hand, Darth Maul over here, yeah, he put up big numbers, 140. You love to see that. He's basically his starting lineup, his top dogs are performing, and that's what you need to get these W's. All right, that's it. Let's see. Should we talk about anything on the waiver wire? What happened recently? Nothing good. Yeah, okay. Going into this week's matchups, and this one, I yesterday, Ashley's coworker is like he's leaving his job, and so they decided to do like a happy hour at the Mission Lawn. And so as I was like preparing to leave, Colin like sent in the weekly reminder to get your picks in, which thank you, buddy. So I'd like had like the picnic backpack on my back, and I logged into my computer super quick. I went to league pick them, and I just picked. So now I'm gonna try to justify those random picks that I made because yeah, that's just how it's gonna go. First up, I'm starting with my matchup against Pebbles. Costco is where the heart is. Costco is his home because he's always there buying protein and diapers, probably. First glance, Amari Demercado, but I keep calling him Demercadero Hall. He's out and currently in Pebbles' starting lineup. And I pulled a savvy move earlier by picking up Keontae Ingram, his replacement, off free agency. This is a bummer. Pebbles is getting wrecked. I think this is the second week in a row that he's been wrecked by having a player, his replacement player on his bench is playing on Thursday night. And so he'd have to make the injury switch beforehand, not knowing whether or not, a better player is going to be in or out. So that sucks for you. I'm sorry. I think that this matchup is one that's kind of a stinky one. I know a lot of my players have red opponents this week, a lot of like hard defenses. So I'm really scared. I'm feeling very vulnerable. I'm currently in a landslide of a free fall, so to speak, through the rankings. So I'm hoping this is a get right matchup for me. And yeah, I really need this win. Good luck with finding a replacement because you have a bit of a bipocalypse yourself going on right now. Okay, next up we got Mo Money, More Problems versus the Dolphins. I chose Mo Money, More Problems, and that's simply because I like to choose the winningest teams, even though Bacon is currently projected as the underdog. So this is a 1v3 matchup. And I guess part of the reason that I chose Bacon is, for the double tight end start again. How fun. Rashid Shaheed rewarded you with he gave you 23 points last week, and you're like, you know what? I'm not about that life. Thanks, but you're going back to the bench. I'm going back to my boy Taysom Hill. That's fun. Yeah, Collins running back situation continues to just be a major issue. It's it's remarkable that he hasn't been able to. Well, it's remarkable that he's been able to win as much as he has when he's trotting out Midasus and Kareem Hunt. Um, but fun storyline there. He's starting Dotson again, who has been one of the underperformers of the year, I would say. Last week he boomed, so he boomed his way into Collins' starting lineup. That's fun. Let's go Lamar Jackson. Let's score all the points. I need you. I got to make up some ground on these league pickups. Next, we have Too Fast, Too Furious. Interesting choice by O'Malley to stick with the Tutu name despite having dropped his namesake. I expect good things out of you. You were the inspiration for my name. You can take that however you like. But these teams both have major bye weeks going on right now. Wow, I didn't realize just how many Broncos are on O'Malley's team. That's always tough. And on the flip side, the Lions and Jaguars are on bye, so Stu's running backs now are a point of weakness instead of strength. So he's starting Singletary. This is a super savvy move because Dameon Pierce was just ruled out for this week. So smart play there. Those are the championship moves. Already though, the 0.9 points from Pickens on Thursday night, you hate to see it. Good luck to you both. Next up, we got Rice Rockets versus Max. I chose the Rice Rockets. Wow, projections are 92 versus 97. Is this the lowest projected matchup of the week? It is. So that's fun. What's the story there? Oh yeah, the Niners are on bye. So that's tough because I don't think I would have selected Bill had I remembered that CMC's on bye, but it's okay. So we had to trot out Spears, the backup running back from Tennessee, who this is crazy. Just thinking about what ifs. The fact that the Titans and the Ravens had a deal in place that would have sent Derrick Henry to the Ravens, but the Titans owner vetoed the trade. That's crazy ramifications, right? Like that immediately changes like Lamar Jackson's value, Gus Edwards for me, and Spears. All of a sudden, Bill would have a starting running back core of starting Spears and McCaffrey, which makes his team a lot more scary. He's also trotting out Royce Freeman, so he's kind of hurting in the running back front with Dameon Pierce being injured. But let's see, Rashid Rice has been like the emerging receiver to own. He's earning the respect of Mahomes. And so he's kind of like the hot young name right now. Him and Addison both have been getting a lot of hype past couple weeks, though Addison has had more fantasy relevant hype. But yeah, that's fun. Good luck to you both. I'm curious to see what happens to Saquon's value with Danny DeVito starting, or if it gets any better with Danny Dimes coming back. We've got the Hall of Shame versus Don't Trade on Me. Great showings. Yeah, good showings from Thursday Night Football. Adam with 18 fantasy points out of Deontay Johnson on Thursday night. Derrick Henry with 17. Pittsburgh defense. I'm shocked that they only had 7 points because I felt like every time I looked up at the screen, they were sacking the Titans quarterback. Um, so that's weird to me. Um, I have chosen Evan's team to win a lot in League Pick'em, and I've been disappointed a lot. And so I think that's why I chose Haddam because I just, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 7 times. No, not seven, but yeah, this will be fun. I think this could be the sneaky, like high scoring matchup of the week. You heard it here first. Last but not least, we've got Scott versus B-Rad. Scott had to start Will Levis, I think it's Levis, with the unfortunate injury to Kirk Cousins. And I was just thinking about this recently, actually. Like, part of the success I think that Scott has been able to enjoy is like he waited so long to draft the quarterback. And wow, did he wait so long? Let me see. I'm gonna do some Cousins. Yeah, ninth round. So when you're able to like wait that long and get a quarterback, I think Kirk Cousins was top five. That's like an instant success. Uh, that's how you build a fantasy successful team. Where's Kirk Cousins? Number six? Yeah, because you're able to like get value at all your other positions and then find, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Of course, if you draft somebody late and they are a top 10 player, you're gonna be good at fantasy. No shit, Sherlock. I feel like Madden right now. Um, anyways, I chose Sleepy Joe because I was like, oh yeah, Kirk Cousins is out, so Sleepy Joe is gonna win, and I think he's on a win streak right now. Even though he's projected to only score 93 points, that's tough. Drake London currently in the starting lineup, but he's injured. He won't be playing, and his replacement, Josh Palmer, is questionable. Ooh, that's tough. So yeah, he got hit with the injury stick last week. It'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward. That's it, fam. That's all I got. I did it alone, and I hope you liked it. See you later.